Imagine walking into your local grocery store and finding the shelves empty of evaporated milk. This isn't just a product disappearing, it's a vital micronutrient source quietly vanishing from shelves. Evaporated milk, often misunderstood and overlooked, is a concentrated dairy substitute with a shelf life of 2 or more years, making it an essential item for long-term food storage. Unlike refrigerated dairy products, which become liabilities during power disruptions, evaporated milk remains stable and usable. Its protein density per dollar is higher than any shelf-stable carton alternative, making it a cost-effective and reliable source of nutrition. The removal of evaporated milk from shelves is not just a distribution decision, but a strategic move that could impact your pantry's nutritional balance. As grocery chains redirect shelf space toward higher-margin products like oat milk and almond milk, they are quietly removing a product that provides unique benefits. This shift is not just about cost, it's about the biochemical and physiological needs of the body for a reliable source of protein and micronutrients. The next time you see evaporated milk on the shelf, consider stocking up. It's not just a can of milk. It's a nutritional powerhouse that supports mood, immunity, and cognitive function. As we move forward, we'll explore another item that's quietly disappearing from shelves, one that might seem insignificant, but plays a crucial role in maintaining a balanced diet.
Canned pumpkin isn't just a seasonal favorite for Halloween pies, it's a year-round nutritional staple that's quietly being removed from shelves. The commercial logic behind this decision is clear. Sales spike during the fall months, making it seem like a seasonal product. However, the nutritional benefits of pure canned pumpkin extend far beyond its seasonal appeal. 1 cup of pure canned pumpkin contains 245% of the daily value for vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene, one of the most potent dietary antioxidants available. This micronutrient is crucial for eye health, immune function, and skin health. Additionally, pumpkin is a rich source of fiber, contributing to digestive health and satiety. The removal of canned pumpkin from shelves could lead to a significant loss of these essential micronutrients in many diets. As grocery chains transition pure canned pumpkin to seasonal availability only, the nutritional gap left behind could be substantial. This shift not only impacts physical health, but also mental well-being. The psychological impact of food scarcity and the loss of familiar food sources can lead to increased stress and anxiety. Stocking up on canned pumpkin now means securing a year-round source of essential micronutrients. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover another item that's quietly disappearing from shelves, one that might seem insignificant, but plays a crucial role in maintaining a balanced diet.
Canned green chilies might seem like a simple pantry item, but they offer a unique combination of flavor and nutritional value that makes them indispensable. The removal of store-brand green chilies from shelves is not just a budgetary decision. It's a strategic move that could impact morale and mental health. Capsaicin, the compound that creates heat in chili peppers, triggers a documented endorphin response, creating a measurable mood shift through a neurological pathway that operates independently of psychological expectation. This physiological response can help maintain morale during challenging times, as food fatigue can lead to decreased appetite and irrational decision-making. The removal of canned green chilies from shelves could lead to a significant loss of this morale-boosting ingredient. As grocery chains redirect shelf space to higher-margin products like salsa, the nutritional gap left behind could be substantial. Stocking up on canned green chilies now means securing a morale-boosting ingredient that can last years. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover another item that's quietly disappearing from shelves, one that might seem insignificant but plays a crucial role in maintaining a balanced diet.
Chickpeas, often overlooked in the canned bean aisle, are a source of resistant starch, a form of carbohydrate that bypasses digestion in the small intestine and feeds beneficial bacteria in the colon. This unique property makes chickpeas a valuable addition to any pantry, providing improved satiety and reduced post-meal blood glucose spikes. The removal of chickpeas from shelves is not just a distribution decision. It's a strategic move that could impact long-term health. As grocery chains consolidate their canned bean SKUs and reduce chickpea inventory, the nutritional gap left behind could be substantial. No other common canned bean delivers the combination of resistant starch and nutritional value at this price. Stocking up on chickpeas now means securing a protein and fiber source that can last years. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover another item that's quietly disappearing from shelves, one that might seem insignificant, but plays a crucial role in maintaining a balanced diet.
Fat-free canned refried beans might seem like a simple pantry item, but they offer a unique combination of flavor and nutritional value that makes them indispensable. The removal of fat-free canned refried beans from shelves is not just a dietary restriction decision. It's a strategic move that could impact long-term health. Unlike full-fat refried beans, which are made with lard or vegetable shortening, fat-free refried beans are cooked and mashed without added fat, providing a different nutritional structure and flavor base. This unique property makes fat-free canned refried beans a valuable addition to any pantry, providing a neutral flavor base that can be used in a variety of dishes. The removal of fat-free canned refried beans from shelves could lead to a significant loss of this nutritional source. As grocery chains redirect shelf space to higher-margin products like full-fat refried beans, the nutritional gap left behind could be substantial. Stocking up on fat-free canned refried beans now means securing a protein and fiber source that can last years. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover another item that's quietly disappearing from shelves, one that might seem insignificant but plays a crucial role in maintaining a balanced diet.
Resistant starch, a form of carbohydrate that bypasses digestion in the small intestine entirely and feeds beneficial bacteria in the colon instead. Research on resistant starch has consistently associated it with improved satiety and reduced post-meal blood glucose spikes. In a situation where you are eating shelf-stable foods exclusively, that glucose regulation effect becomes practically significant. You feel fuller for longer and avoid the energy crashes that come with heavily processed carbohydrates. No other common canned bean delivers that combination at this price. Drain a can, toss with olive oil and salt, roast at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. They become crispy, nutty, and deeply satisfying in a way that cold beans from a can never are. Or blend a drained can with olive oil, garlic, and any acid from a canned ingredient on hand. Hummus for under $1.50, no special equipment required. A 15 ozes can runs under $1.50 today. Once store brands consolidate, organic alternatives fill the shelf at $3.50 to 4 cents. Number Music 8. Fat-free canned refried beans. The dietary restriction casualty being overlooked. This one requires a clear distinction up front because there are two different products sharing the same shelf label. Full-fat refried beans are made with lard or vegetable shortening. Strong flavor, high-fat macro profile.
Traditional product, fat-free refried beans are cooked and mashed without added fat. Different nutritional structure, much more neutral flavor base. Different product entirely despite being shelved side by side. Fat-free refried beans store brand SKUs are being discontinued in favor of full-fat and premium organic versions by several regional chains, particularly in southwestern distribution networks, with reduced orders continuing through 2026. Full-fat versions outsell fat-free versions. Premium organic lines generate better margins. From a buyer's perspective, the decision is obvious. But here is who that decision actually affects. A meaningful portion of the population manages cardiovascular conditions, elevated cholesterol, or dietary protocols that specifically require low-fat food options. In a normal environment, substitutions are everywhere. When your pantry becomes your primary food source, the absence of a low-fat staple protein is not a minor inconvenience. It becomes genuine dietary constraint with no easy workaround. Beyond that,
Fat-free refried beans are the fastest complete meal preparation that requires zero equipment. Open the can, add a spoonful of canned green chilies from number 13, spread on crackers, 7 g of protein and 6 g of fiber in under 5 unis.
60 seconds with no heat, no utensils beyond a spoon, and a combined cost of approximately $1.50. A single can runs about $1.90 today. When store brands are cut, premium alternatives will run 250s to 3 pring to 50s. Number 7. 60C Cans tomato paste. The format change most people will not notice until it is too late. This one is subtle, and the subtlety is exactly why it belongs on this list. The 60C can of tomato paste, 66-cent can of 6 beans, the small cylindrical can that costs around 79 cents, is being phased out by several national chains in favor of larger 12 and 28 oz formats. The commercial reasoning is packaging economics. A larger can costs nearly the same to produce, generates more revenue per unit, and occupies the same shelf footprint. Easy switch from a margin perspective. On the surface, that sounds like a format preference issue. Here is the practical reality that changes that assessment. Once opened, a 28 oz can of tomato paste cannot realistically be used before it deteriorates in most single or small family kitchens. The 6 oz was the right portioning for real household use. Beyond that, tomato paste is doing something nutritionally that most people have never been told. The heat processing involved in producing paste increases the
Bioavailability of lycopene, the primary antioxidant in tomatoes, by 2 to 4 times compared to fresh tomatoes, according to nutrition research published through Harvard studies. 1 tablespoon delivers more bioavailable lycopene than an entire fresh tomato. It transforms a pot of rice into a seasoned meal. It gives music, depth to white beans and substance to any soup that nothing else at the same cost can replicate. The practical solution to the waste problem. When you open a 6 oz can and use part of it, portion the rest into an ice cube tray. Each cube is approximately 1 tablespoon. Cover and freeze. They keep for 6 months and pull out individually as needed. Zero waste, maximum flexibility. Buy several dozen of the small cans while this format still exists. Before we get to the top 6, I want to explain something that most content covering this topic never mentions. Every product on a grocery shelf has a gross margin percentage attached to it. Products generating above 20% gross margin are protected. Between 12 and 20%, they are stable but vulnerable to pricing shifts. Below 12%, they are actively reviewed every quarter. And products running below 8% almost always discontinued within 18 months, unless they are category anchors.
That make the aisle feel complete to a customer. Every single item on this list sits in that 8 to 12% danger zone, not because the product is inferior, because there is something else that moves faster and costs the store less to stock. That is the only reason. Once you understand that framework, you can start spotting at-risk products yourself. Items on the bottom row, carrying generic labels, never receiving a promotional tag, always fully stocked but never featured. Those are the next candidates for removal, the top 6. This is where it gets specific. Number 6. Full-fat Thai and Vietnamese coconut milk. The import contract casualty. This is closely related to number 5, but the reason it is being cut is different. That difference matters. Full-fat coconut milk from Southeast Asian brands, the kind you find in the international aisle, is a categorically different product from the domestic alternatives replacing it. Not in branding, in composition. Authentic Thai and Vietnamese coconut milk typically carries between 14 and 17 grams of fat per serving. Many domestic brands moving into that shelf space carry roughly half that amount. The label will look similar. The can will sit in the same spot. But the contents will not be the same product. The reason for the change is
Import economics. Tariff adjustments and thin supplier margins have made it commercially difficult for several large chains to maintain contracts with these international suppliers. Here is why the fat content difference matters beyond taste. Full-fat coconut milk is one of the richest dietary sources of medium-chain triglycerides. Unlike most dietary fats, MCTs are processed directly by the liver into energy rather than music being stored. Published nutrition research has noted associations between MCT consumption and improved music cognitive performance during periods of caloric stress. Your brain functions better on quality music fat. That is not a lifestyle claim. It is documented biochemistry. How do you identify the real product on the shelf? Check the fat grams per serving. Anything below 12 grams is a diluted product. 14 to 17 grams means you have the authentic version. That check takes 3 seconds. At Asian grocery stores, these cans typically run under $2 sounds. At mainstream chains, closer to $2.50. Both are moving toward the exit at major retailers. Number 5. Canned coconut cream. The shelf-stable fat reserve almost nobody thinks about. One distinction up front because people confuse these two products consistently. Canned coconut cream is not coconut milk. Coconut cream is thick, dense, and high-fat coconut music milk is diluted. The carton versions in the refrigerated aisle are something else entirely, filled with stabilizers and a fraction of the fat content you find in a quality can. Distribution contacts have indicated that several major chains are significantly reducing coconut cream SKU counts in 2026. Coconut cream ships at a higher cost per unit, turns over more slowly, and occupies space that buyers have allocated to faster-moving products. Here is why that removal matters in a way most people have not thought through. Fat is not optional in the human diet. It is how the brain functions under stress, or RESIC, and how cells repair themselves. In any situation where your access to regular grocery shopping is disrupted, the fat category disappears first from available supply. Butter goes first, dairy follows, oils move with them. Coconut cream gives you a dense, shelf-stable fat source with a multi-year shelf life at room temperature. One can contains roughly 445 calories of predominantly fat. The lauric acid content is one of the most bioavailable forms of dietary fat available in a standard grocery store. That nutritional profile has no real I am and need sita going for pave one Charlie.
Equivalent at that price point and shelf life combination. It can currently costs around $2.79. Once these SKUs are cut, diluted domestic alternatives will take the space at a higher price. Number 4. Canned mackerel. The most nutritionally efficient forgotten tin in the store. Walk into any major grocery store right now and go to the bottom shelf of the canned fish aisle. You will find mackerel sitting there completely undisturbed while the tuna shelves above it show regular gaps from traffic. That gap is not a quality gap. It is a familiarity gap. And it is closing. Several large chains have communicated to seafood suppliers that they are reducing mackerel orders significantly in 2026. Mackerel moves more slowly than tuna. In shelf space terms, that is sufficient reason to cut it. Here is the comparison that almost nobody has seen laid out side by side. Mackerel contains more omega-3 fatty acids per serving than canned salmon, more protein per ounce than tuna, and costs approximately $1.56 per can compared to $5 for canned salmon and $2.56 for name-brand tuna. That is a substantially superior nutritional product at a fraction of the cost being removed for one reason only. It is not popular. Popularity and nutritional value are not
the same thing. They never have been. One practical note that changes the entire experience. Buy mackerel packed in olive oil. Not brine and not water. The olive oil pack preserves flavor over time, adds caloric density, and eliminates the metallic quality that turns most people off canned fish permanently. Hold this one in mind. Because at number 2, mackerel and one other item on this list form the most efficient nutritional combination I have found anywhere in a grocery store at any price. Number 3, shelf-stable aseptic tofu, the complete protein nobody puts on a prep list. Let me acknowledge the reaction most people have when they see tofu on a list like this. The dismissal is immediate. I understand it. But it is costing people something nutritionally specific that nothing else at this price point and shelf life combination can replace. Aseptic packaged tofu sold in small, shelf-stable rectangular cartons under brands like Morinu uses ultra-high temperature processing and a sealed multi-layer package to achieve a 12-month-plus shelf life at room temperature. This is not the refrigerated block from the produce section. This is a completely different product sitting in the international or health food aisle unrefrigerated waiting for people who know what they are looking at.
Here is the specific gap it fills. Complete proteins. Foods containing all 9 essential amino acids in adequate proportions are rare in shelf-stable form. Most shelf-stable complete proteins are animal products. For households managing vegetarian diets, food allergies, or religious dietary restrictions, aseptic tofu is one of only a handful of shelf-stable complete protein sources requiring no refrigeration and no cooking. Mainstream grocery chains have been shifting aseptic tofu towards specialty sections with reduced SKU counts as part of 2026 shelf space consolidation. Here is the preparation that surprises most people. Blend a carton of the silken variety directly into any canned soup. It becomes completely invisible. The texture disappears. The soup becomes creamy. The protein content doubles. No detectable flavor change. One package, around 1.89, delivers 10 grams of complete protein with 12 months of shelf life at room temperature. That nutritional math does not exist anywhere else at that price. Number 2, canned sardines in olive oil. The tin that does everything. I told you at the start of this video that this one almost did not make the list. Here is why. And then here is why I included it anyway.
The reaction most people have to sardines is immediate and visceral, usually rooted in a single bad experience or a childhood memory of something that smelled wrong. I am not going to dismiss that reaction. I am going to ask you to hold it for 60 seconds. Sardines are one of a very small number of foods that naturally contain vitamin D3, omega-3 fatty acids, and highly bioavailable calcium simultaneously in a single serving. That combination is documented in NIH dietary reference data and USDA food composition analysis. Vitamin D3, the form found in sardines, is absorbed more efficiently by the body than the D2 form found in most plant-based supplements. The calcium in sardines, which are canned with their soft bones fully incorporated, is absorbed more effectively than the calcium carbonate in most supplement tablets. The omega-3 content rivals or exceeds most fish oil capsules at a cost of under $2 per tin. Now, here is the pairing I mentioned when we covered mackerel at number 4. 2 tins per week, mackerel one day, sardines a few days later. Between those 2 servings, you have covered your complete weekly omega-3 requirement, your daily vitamin D, your calcium, and over 44 grams of complete protein. Total cost under $4. That nutritional density does not exist anywhere else in a grocery store at any
price point. A combination of import logistics pressures and European supplier contract changes is causing several major chains to significantly reduce sardine orders in 2026. Buy the olive oil packed versions. Not water, not tomato sauce. The olive oil pack changes the flavor profile entirely. Cleaner, richer, without any of the metallic quality that brine packing produces. One thing before we reach number 1, something most channels covering this topic will never say directly. Most emergency preparedness content focuses on calories and protein, macronutrients, survival math. That focus is not wrong, but it consistently misses what documented emergency scenarios actually show. People do not lose physical function from protein deficit first. In most real-world cases of extended dietary restriction, the first systems to degrade are micronutrient-dependent ones: vitamin C, vitamin A, prebiotic fiber, iron. These are what your immune system, mood regulation, and cognitive clarity run on. Artichoke hearts, pumpkin, roasted red peppers, green chilies. These are not just emergency calories. They are micronutrient infrastructure. And they are leaving shelves while most people are still debating which brand of black beans to stock. That is the insight most people never get to.
Now, the one I have been building toward, number 1, canned jackfruit in brine. The import casualty almost nobody is watching. Before I explain this product, one distinction immediately. Because there are 2 versions of canned jackfruit, and they are nothing alike. Jackfruit in syrup is a dessert product, sweet, high in sugar, not relevant to this conversation. Do not buy that. Jackfruit in brine is unripe jackfruit packed in salted water. No added sugar, minimal calories, and a dense, fibrous texture that when pulled apart with a fork is physically indistinguishable from shredded meat in most cooking applications. Take a moment with that. It is the only fruit in a standard grocery store that behaves like a shredded protein food. No processing beyond what the canning provides. No additives. No refrigeration required. A shelf life of 12 to 18 months. For households managing food budgets, vegetarian diets, or anyone trying to extend protein-centered meals, this product has no direct equivalent anywhere else on these shelves. Southeast Asian import disruptions and logistics cost increases have led several mainstream chains to reduce their canned jackfruit inventory significantly. Some chains moved it to clearance sections as early as late 2024. Others have been reducing SKU counts through early 2026. It is caught at the intersection, music of import cost pressure and mainstream unfamiliarity. It moves slowly because most shoppers have never cooked with it, and most content has never explained it. That is the window, and it is open right now. Here is the preparation that makes this product immediately accessible with no prior experience and no special equipment. Drain and rinse the can. Pull the jackfruit apart with a fork. It shreds in about 30 seconds into something that closely resembles pulled chicken or pulled pork. Add a tablespoon of tomato paste from number 7. Add a spoonful of green chilies from number 13. Mix. No cooking required. Under 3 minutes total. That combination costs approximately $4 across all 3 cans and produces a filling, texturally satisfying meal that does not eat like standard shelf-stable food. Current price at most mainstream stores is under $3 per can. Availability at mainstream chains is already declining. Here is the full picture. 15 items, 3 functional categories, each one disappearing for the same underlying reason. Not headlines, not panic, but margin math and import economics decided in corporate planning rooms before most shoppers had any idea it was coming. The fat category, coconut cream, full-fat Thai coconut milk, and sardines in olive oil. Fat is the first macronutrient to disappear during any disruption because it is the most dependent on perishable products. These 3 items cover that gap entirely at room temperature. The protein category, canned mackerel, chickpeas, white beans, shelf-stable aseptic tofu, and fat-free refried beans. Complete proteins, resistant starches, iron sources, and B, and options that work across a wide range of dietary requirements. This is the nutritional foundation, the micronutrient and flavor category. Artichoke hearts, roasted red peppers, canned pumpkin, green chilies, evaporated milk, 6OZ tomato paste, and that is the one that determines whether a restricted pantry stays functional for 2 weeks or 2 months. Vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, prebiotic fiber, morale, meal variety. These are not secondary concerns. They are what separates a pantry that works from one that quietly exhausts you. Every single item on this list is available at most major grocery chains right now. Some are under $1. None requires special sourcing, specialized knowledge, or unusual preparation. And all of them share one characteristic: They are being removed.